We've finally seen it. The unit cards for the Chaos Dwarves have indeed been released, and I'm extremely excited to see what we have in front of us. I'm a little bit disappointed we don't have any kind of Chaos Siege Giant. I'd have absolutely loved to see them in play, as they really do pack a punch and really start opening up, settlements for the Chaos Dwarves. But the Kadai units that we can see here all look absolutely amazing. One thing I do want to note that they've taken a slight different style for the unit cards, but for me personally, this is not much of an issue because I actually I quite like it. I think they look super clean, and it's very much going to start differentiating the Chaos Dwarves from any other type of DLC or content in the game. But we do know that there is a vast amount of mechanics within the Chaos Dwarves, and they're very much a standout faction right now from what we can see. So I'm excited to see, how they do and how they balance around it, because I know there's no growth as far as I'm aware. It's just using raw materials, and you can instantly instantly build certain buildings. The Chaos Dwarves are arming up to be very powerful, but we do know that the Chaos Dwarves actually have a cap on their actual units, just to try and balance that. But very, very excited to see, what we have in front of us. And I think the roster, out of the gate is going to be probably pretty darn powerful. But with the units we can see on screen, we know that there is an awful lot of variants, and they are massively, massively ahead of their counterpart of the normal Dowie. The main thing that scares me is that the dwarves, in comparison to the Chaos Dwarves, are just extremely weak. There is nothing that the normal dwarves have that is remotely better than the Chaos Dwarves currently. The dwarves don't have access to chaff units, they don't have access to cavalry, they don't have access to extremely good artillery, they don't have access to, single entity killers like the Kadai Destroyer and the Bull Sentinel. They very much are lacking on a lot of things, but I'm excited to see what happens within the Chaos Dwarf roster. One thing that worries me, if they overperform too much in multiplayer, they're going to get gutted most likely, but hopefully they'll eventually get some kind of divide between the two. And just as a note, this is a comparison of units between the likes of the Orcs and Goblins, in which we saw. And you can see that we have 140 entities on the Labourer side for the Orcs, 180 for the Goblin Labourers as well, which is 20 increased over the counterpart. And if you have more entities within a unit, amplifications of plus melee attack and anything like that really starts to have a massive snowball effect. And especially having Orc Labourers with armor piercing is very, very good, especially since it's such a low tier unit. With 140 models, it's actually kind of crazy and very, very powerful. One thing that I'm probably guessing, the reason they have armor piercing is because they're using Chaos Dwarf weapons, and even their pickaxes are going to be pretty darn good. So it's really cool to see that they have AP. But we also need to know what the additional buff is. As you can see on the Labourer side, we have one additional ability in comparison to that of the counterpart of the normal greenskin units. But we can see that they are weaker and stronger in some regards, but the additional entity count is most likely going to give them the edge, and especially, like I mentioned, any amplifications of melee attack will make these guys an extremely formidable force, alongside of the crazy artillery, because it'll play akin to that of Skaven, where you just send in a ton of crap like Skaven slaves, but in this case it would be the laborers, and just batter them with amazing artillery and kill them with insanely powerful equipment that the Chaos Dwarves have. But this has just further increased my hype, and I'm so excited for the Chaos Dwarves to come out. Make sure to subscribe and follow my Twitch, as we're going to be going super hard on all things Chaos Dwarves. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.